One of the most fundamental properties of humans is the need to aspire. There hasn't been a single person who didn't have the innate need, the wanting and yearning for something greater. I want you to remember when you were just a child, when you were traveling to the faraway lands of imagination, to colorful realities oozing with the essence of living, magical places where fun was in abundance and accessible to all. As you grew older, you began to realize that the ones who came before you, the so-called adults who pose as all-knowing gods, were only fronting the image of chromatic giants in hopes of protecting you from the dark side of reality. Behind all the smiles and cute baby talk hid the lost children of the past, who had long lost access to the heaven inside their minds. They have lived long enough to experience the harsh side of life and have been called forth by the sheer nature of existence to fight for the survival. To work and provide food on the table, shelter above their heads, and if any money is left, buy what little comfort and joy they can afford to make all this seem like it's worth it. With each passing day, their mindset molds over the very structure of the daily life. In an attempt to taste the long-forgotten novelty that is fun, they try to devote some of their precious free time to an activity that stimulates the starving child inside them. However, with all the noise, stress, and tiredness that comes from the daily chore they usually refer to as work, they become complacent and hide away in the comfort of a vapid routine. They enter a state of trance that can very well last their whole lives. Their momentum as an entity dissipates into withering fragments of time that slip between their unsensing fingers, until finally they breathe the last breath, filling the room with a stench of compromise, of conformity, of the rotten spirit that has been dead for decades, murdered the moment they stopped dreaming. And the cycle continues. Looking beyond the masses of these colorless mannequins, we see a few orbs of light climbing a mountain. These are the self-proclaimed warriors of dreams, people who have made their life's purpose the complete liberation of their inner child. They claw their way uphill, one rock at a time, towards the only reality they can accept as their own. They endure hardships of tremendous magnitude and are bombarded with screams of disbelief. Many cannot keep their inner flame burning long enough and get frozen by the coldness of the mountain. Others can take the pain of their constantly bleeding palms, eventually letting go, falling into the cesspool of resigned aspirations. The ones that keep going come face to face with themselves. They are shouting their pain away, crying their desperation out till they have no more tears, and in all that chaos fight the malevolent thoughts that urge them to stop this delusional torture. Yet they grit their teeth, lift their head, and extend their bloody arms to grab the next protruding rock. Why? Because this suffering is nothing compared to the abysmal anguish they will experience if they stop following their hearts. They have adopted a mindset that closely resembles the one most popular revolutionaries had, an unwavering belief that people should demand and fight for their ideal life. They view freedom and happiness as treasures that one must embark on a journey to discover, and as most exotic riches, they are only for the bravest of adventurers. No wealth is acquired without the undertaking of risk and hard work. Pursuing your aspirations is one of the most important attributes of self-love. All the people who truly value and care about themselves share one common denominator in their psychological makeup: greed. Greed has always been portrayed as a gluttonous demon with an everlasting hunger for wealth. It takes control of the vulnerable and manipulates them into attending to its feeding frenzy by ordering them to throw a colossal amount of possessions, mainly cash, into its bottomless gut, while promising that one day it will be satiated and release them from its grasp. Opposite of this delusional dynamic, we find the family of two loving parents and their child. As we observe their daily life, we can see that the couple always tries to improve the amenities provided to the little human. It's as if there's an unending hunger, a fundamental desire to always provide more, to always nurture the little angel better, to always increase the probability that their precious gift to the world will be able to live a long and fulfilling life. And that, my dear viewer, is a beautiful way to be greedy. A person exercising self-love is both the child and the parents. The child symbolizes our needs and wants, our internal compass that always points in the direction our souls are gravitated towards. The parents symbolize our rational side, which is responsible for creating an arsenal of valuable personality traits, following the creation and execution of the best possible plan that will find us closest to our kids' desires. If you want to relentlessly pursue your dreams, it is integral to your success that both sides play their role perfectly. The parents must be able, tough, and strong enough to weather any storm your journey will bring, while the child must remain pure and innocent enough to motivate and inspire the parents to keep moving forward, even in the hardest of times. But before we even begin to discuss how we can allow our internal family to reach its full potential, we must first answer a simple question of paramount importance. What is a dream? A dream is an ultimate but feasible reality we construct in our minds, where when inside, our liveliness is maximized. Our goal as our child is to allow our hearts to dictate the formation of this imaginative world, while completely obliterating any thoughts or feelings that could disrupt this process. And our goal as our parents is to find a way to make this holographic scenario a palpable reality in the most efficient and strategic way possible. A warrior of dreams has two strengths that differentiate him from the common mortal: a strong spirit, the parents, to weather any storm, and a strong want, the child, that constantly pulls him forward. When he combines these enviable states into one, the strength their merger provides transcends the limits of mortal capability, allowing him access to a state of divine properties. Devotion. To become completely devoted to your aspirations, you must open and pass through the 4 gates protecting the mountain, accessible only to the warriors of dreams. For the first one to open, all you need is a dream. The reality is that most people don't go after their ideal lives because they simply don't have one. No goal, no journey. A simple way to start formulating your dream reality is by reflecting on your present life through a lens of brutal honesty. Think long and hard about what you want more of and what you want less of in your life, and why. If it helps you, you can write it all down to make sure your whys have substance. By substance, I mean that the text analyzing your whys has to more closely resemble a complete essay rather than a lone paragraph. If you can define in detail why you desire something and why you despise something else, it will be a lot harder for you to question yourself in the middle of your journey, thus hindering your progress with a task that should have been completed prior to your embarkment on your adventure. For the second gate to open, you must ensure that your dream reality is magnitudes more valuable than your current one. This discrepancy in perceived value is directly influenced by the difference between your dream and present life. Push your wants to the extreme, while also aiming to completely nullify the things that make you unhappy. If your dream scenario still finds you in a state of compromise and conformity, it will not meet the criteria for the third gate to open. As we discussed earlier, climbing the mountain requires complete devotion to your aspirations and their pursuit. Once you have constructed the subjectively perfect dream you desire, which stems from deep inside your soul, you can now work on cultivating the unwavering devotion towards it and make your desire obsolete. To achieve this, you have to constantly meditate on your aspiring future. Place yourself in it, interact with it, and adore it. As your image of this world gets clearer, your experiences from this realm will become more vivid and emotionally inducing, until one day, in one of your routine visits to this imaginative world, you will realize that all this time you have been giving yourself a taste of your destiny. With your end goal materialized, you finally have a purpose, that transcends the limits of what this world even symbolizes. With your desire becoming so strong that it overwhelms you completely, your inner flame is set ablaze. It's at this point you are called to learn how to harness and redirect your emotional energy towards nurturing your inner flame, to prevent it from fizzling out. Each step forward is a small victory that must be celebrated, and each setback is a defeat that must be felt. You can even fuel your inner flame with emotions such as envy, the desire to achieve what someone already has, or rage, manifested as hatred of your current life, leading you on doing anything to change it. With this skill under your belt, you have reached the final gate to the base of the mountain. This is the final test that will determine if you are indeed the warrior of dreams, engulfed by his inner flame, or a colorless mannequin that got a taste of what it feels to be alive. It's finally time for you, my dear viewer, to decide if you want to become a conqueror of dreams, the fearless protagonist of your movie, the revolutionary ready to give his life to experience even a minute of freedom, or if you will let your inner flame go out and return into the cages of compromise and conformity, embracing once again an existence of fear and stagnation, with your inner child left starving in the streets while its parents are rotting inside the comfort of their mundane and uninteresting lives. All you have to do for this gate to open and reveal the colossal, ominous mountain that awaits to test your limits as a warrior of dreams is to simply take a step forward and start warming up for your climb. Thank you for watching, and I wish you a great rest of your day.